Good morning, everybody. Before we get started, please remember that we have our Summer Games program coming up with some Olympics-themed workouts. It's going to be a lot of fun, lots of fun prizes. So really looking forward to that. Hannah and I are going to be teaching, and Cassidy are going to be teaching some classes just for that program. So looking forward to it. I'll put that link in the chat box before we get out of here. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start down on the ground today because I want to work through the core, wake up that core musculature a little bit this morning so we can get some energy. So what I want us to do is just go down onto our knees into this push-up position. We're going to start here by just squeezing those glutes, crunching that core in. We don't need any movement right here, okay? Just keeping ourselves up with the shoulders and arms, getting a little bit of core activation while we're here. And then the next thing that we're going to do is simply drop those hips down so we can lengthen the abdominal muscles, transverse abdominals. And we're going to look straight up. That feels great. And then I do little rotations here with my shoulders too. Kind of moving side to side, get those obliques going a little bit as well. Feels great, especially first thing in the morning. Keep doing those little rotations. 3, 2, 1. What I'm gonna have you do next is raise those hips up, and I want you to have one leg straight, one leg bent, and you're trying to put that heel as close to the ground as possible so we can get some blood flow into the ankle, the calves. We'll go to that other side now. Try to drive that heel down, flexing that calf. And now we're just working side to side. I'm getting like a 2 count on each leg, showing some love to those lower extremities. Get some mobilization going here. Usually start with that head and neck area, but good to change it up. All right, one more each side. Good. Okay, let's put those knees down. I want you to sink those hips back while keeping nice straight arms. So you're going to feel a pull in your lats, just underneath your armpits that go all the way down your torso. That's a good thing. That's exactly what we want. Good, just sink into it, hold here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we're gonna open up this front hip and we want it to be at 90 right here. Gonna go into our pigeon pose. 90 degrees or as close to it as we can possibly get. And we want this back leg to be as straight as possible. And what we're trying to do is make sure that those hips are facing forward, our shoulders are facing forward, and I'm feeling a big pull, a big stretch on the outer side of my thighs and definitely through the outer glute area and that hip and pelvic region. Good. Next thing we're going to do is walk those hands forward so we can get that extra stretch here. Feeling good. That's one of the really cool things about the Summer Games program that's coming on. It's not just strength work. There's mobility, there's agility, there's all kinds of different things that kind of mimic different sports. So really excited for that. We're going to have some bi-weekly meetups with the coaches too, so we can talk about the Olympics and everything going on. All right, let's go to that other side. So 90 degrees now on this leg. All those same cues, just switching over. This back leg is straight, shoulders forward, hips forward. You got it. Stay nice and upright until we walk those hands upward. For me, it's a deload week from my training. So I usually go really hard for about 4 weeks at a time. Let's go ahead and walk those hands forward again, stretch. And then I take a week where pretty much cut all of my exercise volume in half. I do lots of stretching like this, a little bit of lighter weights. And it's really nice because obviously my muscles and connective tissues get really overworked, but it's also a nice mental relief too. So I'm ready to get after it for the next month. Nice work, everybody. Let's release right there too. So I want those feet to come forward, showing lots of love to that hip and pelvic region once again. So bring in those feet back towards your hips. And then I'm going to drive my knees down using these elbows. Feel that adductor stretch, the inside of those legs. And then just as high as you can get, that chest, shoulder, that nice proud posture right here. So yeah, that's just a periodization model that I use and I've used for people that are pretty consistent. If you're working on your consistency, you probably don't need that deload period. Good, keep on. So you're gonna keep those feet forward. You're gonna push them together and forward, and then you're hinging. Again, stretching those outer glutes as you might feel. But sometimes for overzealous or really active people, that week of not complete rest, but less intensity, less volume is really beneficial. I know it is for me. Nice work, everybody. Release. So we're going to go back into that quadruped position that we were in before, okay? And the first thing that I want us to do is work through the shoulder. We haven't done much through the shoulder, and it's a very small range of motion, but we're going to keep our spine neutral. We're going to keep our arms locked out, and I want us to retract and protract those shoulders. So I'm moving my torso forward and back about an inch or two. Working that mobility. This is one of the main ways we move through the shoulder, protraction, retraction. When we do push-ups, when we do pull-ups, any types of rows, need to be able to do this to activate the key musculature. So that's why we're doing it right now. Good, let's get 2 more of each. Awesome, we're gonna stay in this position. I just want you to reach underneath the opposite hand. So my right arm is down. I have it down straight, and I'm actively pulling towards my shoulder that's on the ground. Getting that rear delt, getting the outside portion of the shoulder. I'm even feeling it down my torso a little bit too. Good, let's release. Do the same thing on the other side, everybody. So we're reaching underneath. Have that nice straight arm, and then I'm pulling towards the shoulder that's on the ground, so away from my hand. Good, so that was a really good way to hit the posterior aspect of the shoulder. Now we're gonna get into the chest, that anterior aspect, some of the biceps. So what we're gonna do, and I'll change my angle so you can see exactly, is we're gonna open up this hand this time, and I want you to drive that shoulder as close to the ground as you possibly can. It might not get all the way down there, no worries. We just want a full stretch. Definitely feeling it through the arm, the bicep. Great way to open up this anterior pathway, like I said. So many people are so tight in the chest because we're slumped over throughout the day. I get it. That's why we do this stuff to combat those poor postures. Let's go ahead to the other side. Now this arm is straight, this one's out, palm up, and then we got that shoulder reaching downward. Very nice, everybody. Stay with me. We're getting towards the end of class here. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Next thing that we're going to do in this stance here is we're going to go into a cat-cow. So that means that we flex and extend like this. We're in flexion. My chin is tucked. You see that circular rounded posture, and now that chin comes out. Go into that anterior tilt. And you can work at your own pace, whatever feels good here. That spinal flexibility here. Keep going forward and back. And we just have one more movement. Good, let's release. We're gonna keep these hands on the ground and we're gonna alternate legs kicking back. So we're gonna activate the glutes, keep the core nice and tight. It's gonna look like this, kicking back, and then kicking back. Sometimes with this bird dog exercise, we'll use the opposite arm as well. I want you to hone in on these glutes and the core musculature. Work nice and slow on this last movement. It's not just about the mobility. That's a great thing. But we want to activate these muscles so we can stay in a good position. Good. Let's get 2 more on each side, everyone. Push. Push. 1 more each. Extend. And extend. Awesome job. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm going to put that registration link in here for summer games as well. And I will see you for Keep Fit Strength later. Hopefully you can join. All right, there's the link. Thanks, y'all. Take care.